Hello, I'm Elizabeth Barry. Welcome to the course for Design Your Mind to Be Kind. In this section, we're going over the beauty of the dichotomy of rooted trees and the flight of birds, which is where the idea of this book came from. I wanted to talk to individuals and adults who were interested in being more self-developed in the mind and in the heart. And I use Mother Nature as a reference in all of my work. And in my body of work, you'll hear about the trees and the sands and the mountains and the skies. And I thought to myself, so many of us want to be free-spirited, and so many of us want to fly free. And so many of us also wish to be grounded and rooted like trees, still and patient. And that beautiful dichotomy of those desires are reflected throughout this course, throughout the book called Design Your Mind to Be Kind. And I know that you're going to enjoy this section very much so. I'm going to teach you a little bit about how the birds and the trees can reflect our feelings and our thoughts about kind communication. You know, there's also a fly above habit, which you're going to be learning about as well, which relates to birds. But in thinking about birds and starting with birds, according to the Museum of Natural History, they say, according in when I had written the book, there were 18,000 bird species in the world. Now that was in 2018. Maybe they found more, who knows? But there are a vast majority of several types of birds, and birds are wonderful, right? They're good omens. And if you stay with this course and you invest in the course for Lead by Example, there are spirit animals in that book that I wrote about that I just finished. And it talks about birds as spirit animals to talk between the heavens and the earth, which is really, really interesting to know. Birds are definitely symbolic of our desires. They're also symbolic of goals, of peace, of independence and harmony. They're a symbol of love and balance, as well as new ideas. So I hope that the birds in this book spark you to create new ideas as you're interpreting and changing your habits. And I hope that you're also journaling as well. See, birds are a part of this course because they're a symbol of freedom. As we go through the 3 habits of effective communicators and the 6 personalities, you'll learn that the 6th personality is the freedom spirit. We're building up in each one of these habits and each one of the 6 personalities towards the freedom spirit. That is ultimately the goal. We want you to fly free and with a beautiful spirit above the trees and throughout this earth. Now, flying free from the ego and not letting ego clip your wings, so to speak, teaches you to believe in the nature of who you are, right? Seeing yourself in the nature of you from the gift of Mother Nature is a great teacher. It offers a wonderful lesson to hush the mediocrity of the mind. Hushing the mind is so important so we can actually take flight into action. Remember, intentions are beautiful, but intentions that meet action create the desired effect, that create that motion, that movement. And instead of sitting on choices, we're taking action, we're making decisions. This is the bird is a symbol, it's a catalyst to soar towards your courage, to soar towards new ways of speaking and taking action in your life. And there's this really cool, there's songbirds. There's so many songbirds out there, and some songbirds can take up to 30 mini breaths between their songs, 30 mini breaths. Again, going back to the reflective use of breathing in this course, teaching you to breathe as often as you speak. And, you know, you can look at the bird as a symbol of boundary setting and expansion of the self. When they release their wings and their wingspan, like an eagle, goes out side to side, spanning several feet. Now, this can be symbolic for you to separate yourself from people in your life, right? Just a little bit of a boundary here and there make a big, big difference. The pruning habits of birds when they pluck their feathers ask you, what can you let go of? are you holding on too tightly to be something? Let go of what doesn't need to be with you or what is not serving you. A bird's eyesight, again, like the eagle, is your symbol to see beyond, what the eye can see, to notice things, and maybe to use a different lens on life. And of course, their weightlessness as they just soar through the air reminds you to be lighter through your stride of life. These gentle reminders and of the birds are just a symbol to feel free in your spirit. It's so very important to act like a bird and to feel free. Maybe we can just try that here. We can ground the edges of our feet to Mother Earth or to your floor. Feel the heels gently pushing into the ground. Sit into your sits bones. Lengthen the spine, open the collarbone, and just open the arms out gently towards side to side. Your palms can face forward. You can actually use this as an active pose, engaging your muscles, and just feel the wingspan of your own arms, closing your eyes for a moment, opening and lifting the heart and the chest just a bit. And just picture the expansiveness of yourself. Picture how beautiful and open you can be when you design your mind to be kind, when you open your spirit and your soul to possibility of what can be, and how great that could feel. Okay, you can let your wings down now. That was beautiful. Thank you for sharing that moment. All of these analogies and metaphors are a chance for us to get closer to the nature of who we are. Now, shifting from birds into trees, there are 60,000 species of trees, according to the BBC in 2018, when I first wrote the book, Design Your Mind to Be Kind. And Brazil actually holds the world record for over 8,715 acres of trees, which is really kind of cool. So if you've ever been to Brazil, definitely write to me. Tell me about the trees. I know I've been to I've been to Maui, where there are so many different types of trees. And I've traveled all over Maui, where there were forests and lots of hiking and bamboo and different forests of trees where you hike up the mountains and all of a sudden the trees just shift. There are groups and groups of different trees along each and every hike. It was just really miraculous and marvelous at the same time. You know, trees are a symbol of enduring strength for all of us to recognize the strength within ourselves. It's also an opportunity for us to recover from illness with that strength and to believe in our ambitions and our wishes fulfilled. Trees are a wonderful form of shelter for birds and like little creatures, and they're also a wonderful way for us to take in their stability. I'm looking at trees outside of my window right now. They have this secret stability to them that allow us to be grounded at the same time. So I ask that you admire trees in new ways to skillfully develop your strength to understand your own roots, to balance yourself, to feel protection, to provide protection for yourself by creating branches and boundaries for people as boundary setters. Maybe your branches, your wingspan can be boundary setters here, right? And the vertical length of trees are wonderful metaphors, teaching us posture and the art of posture, the art of better posture, because when you can stand up taller, when you can sit up taller and straight, you can breathe a little bit lighter, and that can certainly serve your communication. Now, doing a little bit of research, I know that the highest trees, that they can go up at least at 400 feet tall in the air. Imagine 400 feet in the air. I think it's the wild fig, which is in Australia or Africa, I forget. But and then the roots that can go underneath the earth, they can go as far as 300 feet down into the earth's crust. I mean, this is a real symbolic element for us right now, to think of ourselves as trees. The expansiveness, the ability to grow, the ability to be tall and to be proud and courageous, as well as to root ourselves as deep as we need to go to feel still and to feel sturdy in life, especially when the winds blow at our face. The tree roots are the sense of osmosis, right? So the tree roots take in all the moisture and all the nutrients, and the nutrients travel all the way up the bark and through all of the leaves and all of each to the top of the tipsy leaves at the top, or the branches at the top. This is the same thing that happens inside of your body with oxygen and blood traveling throughout the body. You're supported from your inside out, just like a tree. We are not so different. And when you're thinking about this support from the inside out, the outside in, this is all about self-reflection. This course, Design Your Mind to Be Kind, is teaching you the power of self-reflection. And the more that you can dig down deep into who you wish to be, you can recognize the power within your spirit to live free and to speak respectfully, to age gracefully, no matter how much the winds blow at you from whatever side. This deep rooting, this osmosis of teaching you how to age gracefully. Roots actually, they slow down in growth. As trees age, the roots slow down in their growth. And if you can apply that to the work that we're already doing in this course, the master of slowing down, the master of pausing and breathing and smiling, slowing down is a dignified way to expand in life, to expand your communication, not through words, but with the beauty of the pause. This life progression asks you to affect how you show up just by simply taking that slow down moment. When you slow down and you take those meaningful life pauses, you can certainly attribute so much more wisdom to the way that you speak, the way that you show up, to your health, to your years on this earth, to that deep reflection that contributes to a kinder, more compassionate way as you age gracefully, even if it's from 5 minutes ago, from getting over your trigger. So I'm going to teach you a tree exercise right now. We just did a bird exercise. Let's ground our feet once more to Mother Earth or to the floor here. Ground the edges of your feet. Feel the heels and the toes dip down. Sit the sits bones nice and settled in on your chair. Lengthen the spine, open the collarbone, shoulders run down the back, away from the ears. Chin is parallel with Mother Earth. We're going to surrender like a tree. This is a beautiful exercise for all of us. So you can take your elbows and place them glued to your rib cage. Open your palms. They say that an open palm is an extension of an open heart. So if you open your palms here, these are like your branches, and we're just going to lift our branches all the way up. Feet are grounded, kind of like rooting down. Open your palms real nice and wide here and just expand. You can even tilt your head back and arch your back if it's available to you. Just reaching and expanding, just knowing the expansion in yourself, giving your heart a chance to breathe, giving your breath a chance to flow, moving the body just a little bit, the way that maybe you haven't done so in a while. This is such a beautiful, healthy exercise, especially if you're on your phone a lot, or if you're in front of your computer a lot, or you're slouching too much. If you're stressed, just ground your feet and be like the trees. It's the art of surrendering. It's the art of saying, okay, I'm going to be in service to the world, to myself. I'm going to be like a tree. I'm going to be still. Trees are so powerful for us to understand, especially in all types of weather, right? The sun can be down on a tree, or if you're in Vermont or somewhere in Utah where there's a lot of snow, the snow can be down on the tree. Through all types of weather, the winds of your life, the winds always change, especially if you're going through something emotional or something discouraging, or if you have grief, loss, fear. I ask that you think about the trees and trust the nature of yourself. Trust the nature to surrender to whatever it is that you are facing, and turn towards the direction of your goals. Let your branches reach towards the direction of your goals. Recognize your spirit is here on this very earth to embrace who you are, to find that life balance, to speak from a place of love. You know, there are going to be times in your life where life just shifts really quickly and you're not prepared for it, and it hurts really, really bad. I understand that wholeheartedly. It happened to me in 2020. It was a terrible time, and I had to use this body of work. In fact, after a tragedy that happened in my life, I finished this book, and I started thinking about this course to ground myself and root myself like a tree, because sometimes our tree branches grow straight and then all of a sudden they stop suddenly and they don't grow anymore, or they stop suddenly and they go in a new direction. And this is a sign and a symbol for you probably have to go in a new direction too. And that's very, very difficult. Sometimes you feel all tangled and twisted like some of the branches in the trees, and that's okay. This is just a reminder that life is not always going to go our way. You may need to turn and grow in a new direction. And as hard as it may seem, this book, this course, this way, this path, this journey is all about habit changing and habit implementation. I ask that you engage with the thought of just changing and swaying with life like branches in the breeze, because your life is going to consistently ask you to grow with it, to change with it in new directions. And when your path bends, it's just a sign from the divine. Life is never going to be a straight line, like just like there's never a straight branch. And if there is, I'd love to see it. And I ask you to surrender and be like a tree, which is easier said than done, but we're just getting started in this course. One other beautiful thing I want to remind you about trees, which is important in the habit changing reflection that you'll experience in Design Your Mind to Be Kind, is that in the fall, when the tree is just about to lose some of their leaves, you know, they turn from green to colors of gold and yellows and oranges and reds and browns. But the tree lets the leaves fall when they're ready. They cascade towards the earth. They don't hold on to them too tightly, right? They don't, like we learned in the Kind Communicator course, when we hold on to significance and certainty so tightly that we don't trust that things can happen. You know, trees are a great reminder to let go. Trees let their leaves fall, trusting that they will arrive again in the spring. So no matter how big your obstacles are, please do not hold on to them so tightly and let them affect you. Letting go is going to be a personality trait that you're going to learn about, the master of let it go, in this course soon enough. So let your spirit just soar and ground, the dichotomy of flying and rooting. Let your branches reach towards the sky. And I want you to balance your thoughts and emotions. Let go. Let the visual of birds and trees allow you to fly free and root yourself. The dichotomy is offering this chance to learn about the path to happiness, to be stable and to be free at the same time. Oh, what a joy. Oh, what a beautiful, exciting path to walk. What are your dichotomies in your life? What are the things that seem unbalanced, yet they also seem like that unbalance is helping you? Right? The sun is going to rise each and every day, and I ask that you greet her. I ask that you surrender like a tree, or open your wings like a bird and create boundaries to be graceful and to be spirited and rooted, quiet, listening to the wisdom, acting out the wisdom of Mother Nature's beauty. See, the soul has a voice that's trying to speak to you, and so many of us are talking over it. So many of us are rushing through life, talking so loudly that we can't listen. It's almost as if when you're listening to the birds, or when you're listening to the leaves flicker in the wind, this is a sign and a symbol that we all have something to hear, And when we quiet ourselves and match that of Mother Nature, we can hear what's meant to be truly told to our soul, to our spirit. We all have roots beneath the surface. We all have roots beneath the surface. This is our way to understand who we are, the treeness of us, right? We all began as seedlings and we're all continuing to grow. What's inside of you can be shared on the outside with grace. I promise you that. It's like the colors of the tree leaves in the fall, or the beauty of a bright red cardinal showing up one day in the spring to say hello, whatever that interpretation that you have of a cardinal may be. This is all a sign and a symbol, the dichotomy of rooted trees and the flight of birds, to mean what you say and say what you mean. Know that your branches and your life will grow in new directions, and new relationships will come in and out. Sometimes we're divided, sometimes we're separated, but that's okay. The best part of this learning is that when you stay grounded, no matter what, you can still be free, right? Like that dichotomy, that rooted feeling, that reaching up. When you stay grounded, no matter what, you can be free. Just like in Maui, as I said, the palm trees sway in the storms, but the next day, she's still standing. She just needed to sway a little bit. So I asked, can you use a bit of swaying instead of breaking your branches a little bit? Take some time to journal about what this means to you, and how the dichotomy of rooted trees and the flight of birds, how the beauty of the expansiveness of wings and the verticalness of the posture of a tree can teach you the posture for yourself, to open up, to breathe healthier, to feel lighter, and to just allow yourself to open up to be the you that you wish to be. I hope that you enjoyed this section. I love this section so very much. Mother Nature is such a beautiful part of my life, and I love sharing her bounty and her endless lessons with you. See you in the next round.